I'm tired of them saying that they need to consider someone else. Joe Biden is the only person that can beat Donald Trump right now, okay? At this stage, stop talking like that, Democrats. It ain't that serious. He didn't do that well because he was sick. He's older. He stutters. That does not make you unqualified to run a country. Okay? If something were to happen to Joe Biden, guess what happens? Kamala Harris steps in. They've already established this ground from the beginning, okay? And I just feel like everybody's just doing too much. Everybody's just doing too much. All is well. Y'all need to show up and vote. Stop freaking out. He didn't perform that well, okay? It's, again, performance. It was nothing but trying to have the gift of gab and the gift of persuasion on that debate stage. People lose debates all the time, okay? If I were to go up there, I'd probably be stuttering, and I would have probably said, "You're a liar, you're a liar, you're a liar, you're lying." I would have been calling out all the lies Trump just said. But I had to still keep it together and be political and be sane. And I got a cold at the same time. And I really want to sit down because I'm tired. But, you know, I don't understand. I just don't get it. Like, Democrats really do be freaking out over nothing. I understand that it was not the best night for Joe Biden when he usually does really well in front of the audience, but this was all confined. Like, nobody runs their day debating people for 2 minutes to answer a question. Nobody does that in everyday life. It's like being in school and having to learn all these different things and write all these papers, and then you don't use it every day in your everyday life. Like, we got to just stop and think about being a real person. I just think that Democrats are freaking out for no reason. I hate that the debate had to, like, just be so, like, confined to, like, you got 2 minutes and you got to answer this question. I would have rather them do a town hall where they sat there and talked to one another and let the audience ask questions, because to me, they know how to be personable, right? Trump gonna lie. Even though he can make people laugh and he can talk just fine, he lies all the time. Which one would you rather have? Somebody who tells you the truth and means it, or somebody who lies and hopes that other people believe it and don't call him out on it? Like, everything about that debate was just stupid to me. It really was, and it just wasn't a good debate all around. I didn't like the debate at all. When I heard some of the jabs, I was just like, well, I'm glad Joe hit back and kind of called him out on some stuff that he should have called him out on in the beginning. But it just felt like I was watching. I mean, I wasn't even watching. I was listening through audio. And when I first heard Joe's voice, I was like, he sound like he needs to clear his throat or cough or something, get something. You know, he just sounds old. But then when I saw the footage, I was like, I guess he does look like he a little old, but, like, we know he old. Like, that's obvious. But he's capable. Like, he's like a granddad that you rely on to give you answers, right? That's who Joe Biden is to me. I call him Uncle Joe. Like, he don't know that, but he's called Uncle Joe to me. And I believe that he will win and he can win. And I feel like when people are freaking out, like, people are going to forget about this 2 weeks from now. I promise you another story is going to trump this one. No pun intended. But what I'm watching right now is just, like, driving me crazy. Like, shut up. Shut up. Everybody doesn't do these type of things well. It's just like me. I'm not great at standardized tests, right? Well, I haven't taken a standardized test in a very long time, but the last one I took was probably for my GRE in 2015. And my score wasn't that high. I could have still got into grad school somewhere, but I didn't get to get into my desired grad school with my score. But I know that's another story for another day. I really was just doing it because I thought I should get paid more. And that's what everybody was telling me to do, because you need to get paid more, which is a problem in America when you got to go to grad school just to make more money. Anyway, we got to just be for real. Like, be for real, America. Be for real. You got Trump, who does nothing but talk. And he be talking about nonsense. But what is his real policy? Closing the border and putting up a new wall? Like, you think migrants who are desperate to get away? Like, to me, if you came all the way from another country that's miles away, then you must have had a real need, a real desire to get away by foot in most cases. I mean, life or death right here. They rather die with the opportunity, with knowing that they gave themselves a chance to try to have a better life, than to just stay where they are, where there's violence and people assaulting them and stealing from them and saying, you gotta pay us this money every time you get paid. Like, whatever little stuff that happens in, like, Mexico and stuff like that. Like, that's bizarre. And it's in other migrant places too. It's just not just Mexico. But to me, if people are coming by foot in droves to the southern border of America and the other places in America, if they're saying, hey, we need a better life, we're running away for this, and we know about these things, they should automatically have an opportunity to just come in and do the paperwork, do whatever they need to do, and then come on in rightfully. Because, I mean, you just took this journey to get here by foot, and how dare we just be like, you know what, go back to where you were. You don't deserve to be here. Like, America is made up of nothing but people who weren't born here, except for Native people. We have to be real about what America is. We have to be real about that. I can go deeper into how, the Christopher Columbus thing was a whole lie. They were misinformed. They thought this land was really their land because they just didn't see anybody when they first arrived on the ship. And then they were caught by surprise when they saw people. And then had the nerve to try to hurt them, kill them, just to make this place that we live in right now. And then kidnapped us. Kidnapped my ancestors just to get here. Enslaved us. I mean, we can go way deep into how America is a place that is built on a lie. We can go real deep into it, but we're trying to do better now. But we got another party, the Republican Party is what I would say. I don't even know if this is a Republican Party anymore, because I would just call it MAGA land. They living in a fantasy world. They want things to be back like how it was in the 1950s. Women's rights out the door. You going right back to the house. You having all these babies. You about to cook all this food. You gonna take care of the house. You ain't working, cause I'm making all the money, and I ain't gonna give you none. It's just for the bills. That's basically what I hear when I hear them saying, we're going to take away your rights for reproductive rights. Everything's abortion with women's rights. Everything. That's what I hear. Let's go back to the good old days. They want to suppress black people. They want to suppress anybody who ain't white. Anybody who ain't white. And I just get tired of it. I get tired of watching it. And I'm like, I'm seeing it play out. I'm like, this is not, even though, like, we're not that far from, like, the 2000s and the 1990s. Like, I can see how things are just so different than what I remember growing up. Like, as far as politics go. Like, we do have a lot more people of color, a lot more women in Congress. I'm sure out people who are gay and they're saying it, you know what I'm saying? You know, we got people who got, there's interracial marriages, all that stuff. That's, we're seeing it in the world. But the fact that there's people who are trying to suppress our differences and who are saying, no, we have to go back to where it was when we were in power, and nobody else got power but white men in their middle, in their mid, who were middle aged. You know, I mean, a lot of people in politics started really when they were in their 20s or so, their 30s. But to be able to just, you know, they stay until they're in their 60s, 70s, 80s, until they die. And to me, Joe Biden, he's one of the people he's one of the good ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, it's like, even I felt like he should have ran against Trump in 2016. And I went to bed in 2016 thinking Hillary had it in the bag. And to my surprise, when I woke up, to know that Hillary lost, I was like, I cannot believe this. But I didn't think, I was one of those people that was like, he can't be that bad, right? Like, he's a businessman, you know, people like him. Like, just hopeful. I didn't want him to win. But I was like, not as stressed out. I was just concerned. I was like, I was thinking the whole Access Hollywood thing was going to ruin his, you know, because back in the day, one strike and you're out. If we hear anything about molestation, or you talking about like hurting a woman, or assaulting a woman, groping a woman, oh, you out the door. Like, everybody would have been like, oh, he out of pocket, we done with him. They don't do that no more. This man done did everything under the sun. And he, like he said, he said, I can shoot somebody down Fifth Avenue and nobody gonna check him for it. That's in other words, that's what he was saying. He said, I could shoot somebody and he won't get arrested. Nothing will happen to him. And I believe he believed that. I believe he believes that. And I'm just sick and tired of people thinking that Trump is the answer. He's not the answer. This man is crazy. And he is unhinged. And I believe that he really is under the thumb of these powerful other leaders, right? Who are crooked. Well, y'all know who I'm talking about. So, stop talking about Joe Biden and how he performed poorly. Like, he answered the questions a little bit better than Trump did, and he was truthful about it. Like, yeah, sometimes it was like, okay, that was a gaffe. It was just like, yeah, he just wasn't clear right there. And I think the microphone was too close to his voice or whatever, to his mouth, because it was just like, why you sound muffly? But Trump don't. And I know he was speaking in a lower tone, and he was sick, and his voice was not like it usually is, but it was just like, you know what? I know that Joe is trying, and he cares about people like me. So he'll always have my vote, because I see what he does, and not just what he says out his mouth, and how he performs in front of people in a confined kind of space. No, it wasn't the best debate he's ever done. But I still believe in his policies and what he's trying to do for Americans. Period. I don't ever see what Trump is doing to help his people. American people. I'm not talking about white people. I'm talking about American people. But that's the first thing people think about when they think about Trump. When I see a Trump flag, I think racist. I just think about all the negative things that I've seen him tout. And I think about how most people must be supporting him because they love that part of him. Like they feel the same way he does. Stop freaking out, Democrats. Go out there and vote, people. I know that you guys are tired of people saying you need to vote because like your life depends on it. It really does. It really does. If you really think that Trump is going to make America better, especially for black and brown people, oh, please. He already telling y'all that he doesn't want Mexicans and Hispanics and all other I know that the whole terminology around it. I don't even. I usually just try to say Hispanic because I don't even. It's just too many. But I know that these people are coming from Mexico, so I can say that. But migrants, period. He only. I think that he thinks about Mexican people only, but he's talking about people from black countries or African countries too. And it's just I'm just tired. I'm tired. I'm tired of like the way America can be. I love America, but this is not the America I want to live in, where there's chaos, where there's chaos and harm to just being. I sometimes I'm in the grocery store. I'm in Dollar General. I see a white man with a beard. I'm over here like this. I'm trying to hurry up and move to another aisle because he got a little flag on his shirt. I don't know what his thoughts are. I don't know if he got a little weapon on him. He might be trying to hurt me. That's what I be thinking about sometimes. I didn't used to think about all this. I always, was watchful, just because I'm a woman and just because you never know what people on. But to be, kind of looking like, okay, but, this person got on this or this person looks like this. And, and like there's this level of fear that I have that I know I didn't used to have before I saw what Trump was about and how people loved him and white power and Jews will not replace us type stuff, and how they treated us during the protests of 2020, January 6th. I'm just tired of like feeling like we're in a disastrous place as Americans, like in America, like our whole world is looking at us like, please, like, don't vote for Trump. Like, except the people who love Trump, because they know that they can tell him what to do. They know that he's gonna do everything they want him to do. He's a racist. He hates women, except when he can take advantage of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, he makes me just feel cringy. Like he makes me cringe. And there's people who just say, I love Trump. He's so funny. He just tells the truth. What truth? That he wants Muslims out this country and migrants, and that he's taking all the black people's jobs? Yeah, that's his truth. He's telling you the quiet part that he thinks internally, and all these other people, his friends, he's saying that part out loud instead of holding it back. So to me, what your truth is, the things that you love about this guy, it just points you out as a bad person too. And that's why I'm like, anytime I hear people say, oh, I love Trump, he's just so funny, he's so truthful and honest, I just be like, all right, you're one of those guys. You're one of those guys. You're one of those people. And I just don't see how don't even get me started on the GOP. Don't even get me started on the GOP. I have seen people cower down to Trump. I'm like, you guys have more power than he does, because you're experienced, because you believe in doing right, and now you're fawning to him because, oh, I don't want Trump to be mad at me, because he's gonna tell my wife that I cheated on her. Like, I don't even, like, to me that's what they're thinking, like, that he got something on them. You know what I'm saying? I'm just exaggerating with the whole cheating thing. He could be having some type of blackmail stuff going on. But to me, I would rather you tell your wife what you did and still rise up. Your wife can be on your side, or she'll just leave you with good conscience. Tell the truth. Stop doing crooked things behind closed doors. People will find out, I promise you. But the fact that you guys are just like, oh, I just have to roll with Trump because he's the only one that can make things happen for me. Somebody got to be big and bold. Liz Cheney and Kinzinger or whatever his name is. It shouldn't just be just two people who stand up to him. And Romney, he just, oh my gosh. I saw him partially, I feel like, stand up, and then he gonna say, no, I don't think that Trump should be even going through this trial right now. I think it's just a joke. I think no president should be going to jail. Like, this is, excuse me? If it was you, I promise you, you wouldn't be talking like this, right? If you were in the situation, you would probably be like, well, I did the crime. So to me, and when I say that, I'm trying to like articulate myself well when I say this. I feel like Romney, if anybody else was in this situation, he would say, we have to go ahead and, you know, let justice be served. But on Trump, it's like, no, he shouldn't, no president should be going through this. And to me, if Romney had done something wrong and his counterparts that he holds to a high standards were doing wrong, whether they were president or not, he would want them to be held accountable, including himself, if he had done wrong. If he was a person that of conscience, like we thought he was. We thought he was a person with sensibility, but now it's more clear. Like, oh, he's even more like them. We thought that he was, you know, sensible, but no, not really. He's still a Republican at the end of the day, and he's not a reasonable one. So and there's Republicans that are still reasonable, right? They stand on their ground. They stand their ground, but they know that Trump is definitely not it. He does not represent the quote unquote grand old party. And even though, like, I think most people agree, like especially Christians, agree with a lot of things that, you know, Republicans may, you know, be with, but they agree a lot with what the Democrats stand for too, because they're actually trying to do good for society, despite what our own like religious beliefs are and our conscience, you know, like as far as just like morals and values based in Christianity, like stands for. Like, and so to me, you know, and people talk about this all the time. They talk about like how black people used to vote for Republicans all the time. Yeah, but then there became a contrast. And the same party that people that used to be there when Lincoln was around, it basically switched roles. So yes, the Democrats were like very racist, like everybody else in America during that time, during the 1800s and 1900s, early 1900s. Like, yes, both parties were racist. Let's be real about it. But black people used to vote for Republican candidates, especially dealing with Lincoln, right? And after he died, oh my goodness, I can't even imagine how that generation felt. Like, they literally killed him because he wanted to stand up for us. You know what I'm saying? So anybody, like, I'm sure like black people voted for him, you know, just continued to vote for him up until I guess the Kennedys came around, you know, and they had their own biases and stuff, and we had to basically things switch. You know, they got to see some things. They put themselves in our shoes, and then they earned our vote. They earned our vote, and so things began to change. We became more democratic, or for the Democrat. I'm talking about like small d. Well, I guess democracy, yes, but I guess capital D in this case. We became Democrats or voted Democrat. That doesn't take away from what we believe in, but we saw that, oh, these people are for the people, so we're going to vote for the people who are trying to do for us. And from there, we kept it kind of kept going down that line where they were trying to help black people, trying to help people who weren't straight, trying to help people who, weren't just only Christian. You know what I'm saying? So it's a no brainer to vote for Joe Biden, because I mean you can see that what he's trying to do for everyday people. Everyday people. But my show on, Nicole Waller's on now, so I'm good. I've said everything I want to say, and this ain't even all I want to say. I could talk about politics for hours and hours. I've been hooked since 2016. But I know the stakes are high. I can't wait to vote in November. I'm a Democrat. I'm proud. I'm black. I'm a woman. I'm a Christian. And I'm voting blue. And I pray that more people look into the truth instead of just believing every lie. Don't just watch Fox News. Look at MSNBC. Look at CBS. Look at PBS. Look at ABC. Look at your local news. Look at the newspapers. Look at the articles and stuff. Stop just staying in your little bubble. Like, I get to see everything. And I see the contrast. That's all I got to say for now. Peace.